Hello there and welcome back to Satisfactory. Yes, we're back on Satisfactory once again, going to be continuing our single player playthrough on the 1.1 experimental branch. So, if you weren't here last time, we had gotten started on our cooling systems factory. Got the train stations down, the platform down, and all that stuff. Got the train lines hooked up, as well as we started our journey into the grasslands with the train line. At least got it started anyway to start heading out there as well. We're trying to do a little bit of both because we've got a lot of train line to build left so that we can do those electronic factories as well. But today, like I said, the plan is to get the cooling systems factory. You need to get it up and running as well as maybe even do some detail work. We'll see where we go and see how far we get. So yeah, without further waste of your time, let's get on into it. Let's go. Alright, and here we are. So, yeah, got a lot of work to do. We want to get this factory up and running today, which means we're gonna need to get working fast. Okay, so we got a few things that we want to do here. I want to look at this side first. Let's see, our doors are going to kind of be off-center from the actual build because we do need room on this side. So the factory is going to go out to here and then to this particular point, which means I might extend out the foundation out that way by one so that it matches. Let's go to walls here. Let's go to fix-it walls. Okay. So the bottom portion of here, of course, is going to look like the cooling system portion, or it's going to look like the heatsink portion. Similar. We're gonna do some similar designs based off of the item here. Also, last time we did do the calculations. Oh, geez, hello, hello train. Yeah, so we're using 100 of our heat sinks per minute, using 25 motors per minute, and because it's the alternate we're using the cooling unit recipe, and we're going to be making 100 cooling systems per minute. This math right here does make 50, but we're going to be summer slooping it. We're summer slooping all of the factories that make less than 100 or make at 100 as well. So, no, also. Just a quick little mention here. Thanks for the when somebody tells me that I've done something either incorrect or whatnot, that doesn't have to do with the rules of this particular kind of custom scenario playthrough that we've kind of put together. But yeah, when I do little mistakes like what this person mentioned, they're very much thanks for that. Just don't be afraid to tell me that I did something wrong. Be like, you did this wrong. You need to fix it. I'm just like, oh yeah, I did. So when we were building this factory, I had accidentally put in 2 power shards when I saved the blueprint for the assemblers inside of here, instead of just the 1 power shard for my clock settings. Yeah, and so I had a bunch of extra power shards I had 1 extra power shard in those machines by accident. So yeah, just a little mention there. Yeah, I made that mistake, and as I had responded with that, yeah, after 3,500 hours, sometimes you let stuff slip. It slips by, and it takes somebody else to see it with a more fresh mind, I guess you could say. On the matter, an outside perspective. That's what I'm looking for. Outside perspective to tell you, hey, you messed up. Yeah, and also, yeah, I have literally. If we go into my, I've got 500 power shards here. Plus, I've got like half a container full of power shards. I forgot they only stack to 100, huh? Which is kind of sad, but yeah, I've literally got thousands of power shards, so not a big deal that I make that mistake, but it's still good to definitely let me know, and we can get it corrected. So thanks for that. All right. Sorry, it hit me that I was like, oh yeah, that did happen, didn't it? Nah, we won't put the wall there. We're going to put a temporary wall up, but yeah, I think I'm going to expand on this side one foundation. Because what we're going to do is the factory is going to sit on a platform, like we did with the heat sinks factory, similar to the heat sinks factory. It's going to sit on a platform with some supports underneath it, but for the most part, let's get rid of this. I think we'll carry this all the way around. I did this on the other platform as well. Just carry this, you know. Carry this on down the thing. But yeah, having one extra space out here could lend itself to some belts or to some other stuff. That does mean we'll have to get rid of our other method of putting half a foundation for the wall space and whatnot, which is fine. So we may lose that. But it was 6, and then we're going to then take up another one of these foundations. What should we do? Should we do? I think maybe we should do some grip metal this time. I always go between grip metal and concrete foundations because they both look good. The coated concrete I only use when I'm near water. I will usually use that material to make it look like concrete's wet. And then asphalt foundation, obviously I only do that when I want to put in roads. Because it doesn't really look good anywhere else. Or except for factories that we want to keep a dark atmosphere. Then the asphalt's really good for that. The grip metal's good for... grip metal and concrete's good for most factories, at least in my opinion. Are we high enough? Yeah. Yeah, we'll do some grip metal this time around instead of concrete. We're going to go out one more. Let's go out to there. And the reason we need an extra space here is because of our belts. I definitely want to keep those in-house here. So, that'll work there. There it is. Okay. So yeah, we'll just drag this platform out. This is how much space we're gonna have. Well, I mean, the cooling system's got an interesting shape to it, so we're gonna be following that. Wait, do we want to do? No, we can do grip metal foundation. Then we could put roofing over the top of it to be able to change the color. And just put some flat roof down. That'll work. But yeah, we're going to be making, essentially we're going to be making a giant cooling system, just not 100%. It's going to be inspired by rather than a copy of, I guess I should say. But it's good that we're doing that. Good thing that we got the trains up and running last time too, because now that the train's up and running, they can deliver material while we wait, because we need to wait for the train stations to get full anyway, for this style to work, the style that I play in, which is basically brute force enough material through that we don't need to worry about anything else really. I mean, I kind of have to play that way a little bit because with this rule set, we definitely have to kind of brute force our way through with the amount of flow and whatnot. So basically the way my trains are set up are basically like a giant manifold system, where the manifold system is slower to warm up, but once it gets warmed up and full, then it's all good. And train stations kind of work that way too. We need to let the train stations completely fill before we start using them, so then we don't have to do any kind of really real balancing or anything like that. Like this train's going to be half empty for a while because of the way it's being loaded. And it would have been the same the other way too if it was loaded the opposite. It's being loaded from the front to the rear because of the train coming in, the way the train's coming in. And we can't really switch that without completely rebuilding interior of the first floor. We have to completely swap everything around. It's just like, it's not worth the effort. Okay. But yeah, now that we've got our platform down, I think we should build it this way, where this is the side that's facing the cooling system. That way we can do the detail work of the piping, because even though the cooling system looks square, it's actually kind of rectangle. If we actually look at it real close, it's ever so slightly rectangled. Yeah, see, this side's slightly shorter than this side. Maybe it's just the way it looks to me. Maybe it is square, but this side definitely looked shorter to me than this side. So if we have the cooling system facing this way, all the trains basically come in on the side. And we'll probably put this pipework on the siding here. We'll probably put the pipework a little bit more kind of in place. But yeah, I need to decide how big this is going to be before I can start actually building the structure on top. I don't know about the rounded tip nose piece there. I don't think we're going to be able to do that. I don't know if I have the skill. Maybe. But yeah, so basically it's all chrome or, well, it's aluminum, so maybe unpainted? Maybe we go with the unpainted. It's going to be annoying to look at, though. I don't know about you, but when I see like people's vehicles wrapped in like that really shiny chrome and stuff like that, I'm just like, that is so annoying to look at. It's like, sure, you're flexing your wealth there, but it's very annoying to look at. It's very annoying, you know, completely gold car or completely chromed out vehicle. It's just like, ugh. And hard to keep clean too. Like, you never want to drive it because as soon as you drove it, it just starts getting dirty and scratched up, and then it doesn't look as shiny anymore. So it's just like you want to like completely cover it up, tow it to where you're going to show it off, uncover it, let it sit there for a little bit, and then recover it back up, and then tow it back home. You never want to drive the damn thing. Just an off tangent about. Let's see. So if we go with the unpainted, that's what unpainted looks like. Slightly darker, but you still get the reflection. And then if we go with the chrome finish looks more like it, but you get a lot more reflection out of that. And like I said, very annoying to look at. So maybe we go unpainted. Unpainted has a slight less shine to it, plus the train station stuff all look like that, so yeah. I don't know if we want to put any kind of detail work on it necessarily. I mean, we might. See, the very front and back sides have this. We might build this in a blueprinter. They have these slots, which is basically the heat sink portion of it. So if we can get those slots built into a wall, I think we can make that work. And then this side, we could I don't know if we could make that happen. Not necessarily, not without having a whole bunch of walls tucked into each other. Yeah. Okay, we'll build some stuff in a blueprinter and whatnot. Like I said, I need to get this worked out, the ratio and stuff, and how big it is, and then we can work on the actual top portion. So maybe we will be doing some detail work first. I still want to get the factory up and running today, but you know, if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. You know, it's one of them type of deals. All right, what are we working in? Are we working in odds or evens? Looks like evens. Okay, so we'll build in 2s. Can't build in 4s because it's 14, so that'd be either 12 or 16. It wouldn't be 14, so we'll build in 2s then. Let's grab some walls. See what we can do with some detail work here. We're gonna want slots, so let's do default. Probably slots this big, maybe? Maybe. And what we could do is we could put some lights on these. Okay, so there's 2 walls, so we'll get rid of this one because we're going to overlap them. And we'll grab ourselves another wall. This. Oh, identical building is already built there, so should we put it one back then? Okay. And then we're gonna go 6 tall with this. So 1, 2, then 4, 5, 5, 5. And I'm really working on the slotted walls the last couple weeks, huh? Freaking slotted walls, man. Okay, and then cooling system. Oh, should we do like a green? That'd be kind of cool. I mean, it wouldn't really fit with the design. We could do orange, I guess. We'll do like an orange. And of course, we're gonna have pipes running in between these as well. Well, maybe. Maybe only in certain pieces, in certain portions. Because this one's going to have 2 different wall types. It's going to have the cooling fin wall types for most of it, and then in the center, the last, like, I don't know, 4 foundations. The middle 4 foundations, maybe we'll have... I don't know. I don't know what we'll have. We'll have something. Wait a second, if I do 5, let's see, it's 14, right? If I do 5, if I do in a section of 5, and then we do a section of 4, or, sorry, yeah, that'd be too much. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. A section of 5, a section of 4, and a section of 5. It says 5, 10, plus 4, that's 14. So, if I use this whole thing as one piece, then it's just easy, right? Yeah. Yeah. So basically, if I just use this... Oh, I was like, what happened? Something doesn't look right. There we go. Yeah, then we don't have to worry about any of that. Okay. And since that's a half foundation, what I'm going to do is we're going to take a half foundation 2 meter. Like that. And then since this is the very top, do that, so we basically cut it off. We'll grab our walls here. Oops. Unpainted. Okay, perfect. Alright. Then we're going to take some beams, I think. This. So these are like the edges of the fins. I didn't want to... I was going to use bigger pillars, but I was like, nah. I kind of want to keep the big slots, so... I was like, I want to put something on the end, though, to kind of tie it together. And I don't know why I'm doing this. Because I need to paint them. This way they all match. Alright, this is looking good. Yeah, I'm going to put piping in behind here, I think. So I'll have to build another blueprint to fit it together. Because we can't put... The reason is because we can't do wall holes on the edge like this. So we'll have to build a blueprint with that connects across 5 foundations, and then we can just slot it in to this blueprint and then save it all as one. And that should work as well. But yeah, I do want to put some lighting in here. Basically, so you can only see the lighting from one side. So we're going to go organization, and we're going to grab a large billboard and put the large billboard in here. Then we're going to change its... Oh, I love how it already gives lighting. Nice. I kind of want this color, because that's going to be the color, partial color of the building. So, yeah, let's just grab the Fix It orange here. And then select backgrounds none. And then this icon. Let me just change the layout. Yeah, and delete the text. So we don't need it. Yeah, I kind of like that actually. Give me a pain in the butt to put all these in here, but yeah, I got a hand-fed factory back at the beginning area. I think that's in the center. Is that in the center? I hope that's in the center. I can't tell. Alright. Actually, you know what? If I put the bottom and the top, and then we put the middle in the middle there, then it's all. Then you don't have this seam here. Yeah, that should be good there. And then, yeah. So, let me get the rest of the detail work for the front and the back, and then maybe we'll be able to start working on the actual factory itself. Alrighty, and after a little bit of building, I actually got the whole bottom floor done. I don't have any lights in there. Just remembered that I forgot that, but it's okay. So we got a couple different blueprints here. I actually got six blueprints. I also did have a crash, of course. You know how it goes, especially with 1.1 experimental. But yeah, we've got 6 different blueprints now for this particular build. So this is how I decided to go about it. I was like, man, I really want some like cooling fans or something to kind of look like it's cooling down the pipes. So that's what we've got over here is these cooling system pieces with fans in them. I thought that was a really cool. So it's it's kind of like a little bit of an open air cool as well as we've got some fan airflow kind of helping the pipes cool down as well. I thought that was kind of cool. Add a little bit of extra. Took my idea that I had with that other factory, the copper powder, was it? And decided to run with it here as well, with a little bit of a different style, but and a whole bunch more fans. But I thought, thought that looked pretty cool for a side piece. Especially as you're driving by, you're going to be able to see the lights and stuff like that, and I think it looked pretty cool. And then with the particular side with all the garage doors, I made another blueprint, which is kind of similar to, I guess. Oh, wait for the autosave. Kind of similar to that factory over there, where you got the side piece, which is the side of the factory, which is, well, a side of the factory, I should say, because there's 4 sides. But a side of the factory, which is the one you see from the tracks when you're going by, the one that's like the flashy thing, and then the slightly less flashy on the side where you're not going to really see it a whole lot, maybe in traveling or from a distance. But yeah, this is the side we're going to do. So this, and I say the side, this is actually the front of the factory. I decided to allocate 6 foundations as well, at the very least, to this particular piece, because when you actually look at the cooling system, yeah, so we took the idea of the cooling pipes and whatnot and really ran with it. I even went so far as to do this, like radiators on a car. Radiators, a lot of these radiators, if you ever have a radiator where the tanks are off the side of it, you're going to have these little loops on the ends, because, well, the pipes are all connected. So the coolant runs through the little tubes throughout your radiator, the little cooling tube, the little copper tubes, essentially. The coolant runs through those, and then the fins, when you're driving your vehicle, the fins is what directs the air past them tubes to help cool your car down. So kind of took that similar idea, or the similar idea of, I guess, if you have like a air conditioner, inside the air conditioner you're going to have these copper tubings as well. It's a very, very awesome design. And then, of course, these help pull air past it and stuff like that, help cool it down. They cool in the factory down, yeah. But yeah, so then this is just kind of detail work to kind of, pull out the wall a little bit to make it not look so flat. And then I've got where the different trains need to go. You got the heat sinks. You've got the motors. I also noticed too, these doors are a little bit short for the liquid cars. They are a little bit short. They do clip, unfortunately, but that's okay. And then you've got the nitrogen gas, and then you've got the cooling system itself. And then on the opposite side, so you come to this side, and it looks like this overhangs the train, but the train does barely come right by this. So there's not a whole lot of room, but there's a decent amount of room. You can see the train coming in there. I like that it fits like that. It's really nice. We got half a foundation extra on this side, but that's okay. And then same with the opposite side, just with signs on this. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way the build is. I know it's very square, but again, it's part of the squareness is part of the design. And then, of course, on the outer side, we're going to use these roof tiles to cover up this foundation, especially because of the glitchiness as well. Definitely use that to cover it up. I might run a beam across this to kind of finish covering that as well. Maybe, or run a pillar or something like that to kind of pull out pull the design out a little bit as well on the edges, but also because this is like a roof piece. And we'll see what we can do there. Now, unfortunately, I did lose my foundation size inside of there. Oh, whoops. Okay, so looking at the cooling system here, if we move on. Looking at the cooling system here, you can see so it's in thirds, right? So we're going to have to split this factory into thirds so that we can get the design correct with this type of thing. Obviously we're taking a lot of liberties here. It's inspired by, but it's not the same. So these are the fin pieces that go across here, and then on the sides this is where the train lines are coming in as well. So yeah, I think that'll look very good. And I have a very awesome idea for this. I came up with it. I was just like, oh, that's such an awesome idea. Of course, we're not going to worry about that today because we do need to get the factory functional today, but or we're going to try to. At least we'll get close. You know, we only got 4 machines, and then we just need to do the belts and stuff for it, but which is pretty simple. I mean, you're talking. I love that the train just barely clips that one side. Like this is here. This is actually here. Not just accidentally, it's permanently here. They look at this. I mean, 1 pipe to run all 4 machines. I might split it up though, and kind of run 2 pipes for one for each side. Or heck, even with 1 pipe per machine, like have each pipe have its own machine, or 2 pipes. We run 1 pipe for 2 machines. Whichever. Because we all know in Satisfactory, unless they fixed it, which they haven't said that they have yet, that the 600 pipes are not always exact, so they're not 100%. The devs have said that, by the way, not just some random dude on the internet saying that. It is the devs themselves have said that 600 pipe isn't always 600 at 100% of the time. It's kind of fluctuates. Which I have seen it myself, with a 100% full pipe and 100% pulling 600, and I've seen the pipe pull up to 600, and I've seen it pull 597 at its max. And yeah, you don't want to do complete exact sometimes. It just depends on your pipe setup, but sometimes it'll do 600 exact, and sometimes it won't. It just depends on how everything's set up. And with my 3,500 hours, it's one of them things where it is not an exact science when it comes to pipes. All you can do is do your best. And I've taken so long that these trains have fully filled up, full of material, so that's good. Okay, and then yeah, 100 cooling systems. So yeah, really, we're not looking at a whole lot of belts and stuff. We're not even gonna do. I might even do I might do a logistics layer just for fun, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that, but definitely. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to be using one of my blueprints for this backside here as well. We're probably going to have to color it to make it match the rest of this. Maybe. We'll see what happens. I might change up that design differently there. But yeah, like I said, I have a really awesome design for this front piece as well, which is going to make it look really good. And I actually have this awesome idea of the factory and how it's going to look on the outside. We're actually going to change up the design of this a little bit. So we're not going to go straight into just this top portion here and split it between 2 floors. We're actually going to have a smaller piece. That might be where our logistics floor is and whatnot. So yeah, it's going to be changed up slightly differently as well, but it is a really cool design. Because I was like, I was just thinking about it, and I was just like, this would be really cool to do this, and then that led to something else and something else, another idea, and then eventually it hit a critical mass where we went, yep, we're doing that. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're going to be doing. But like I said, today we're going to get the factory at least functional, at least somewhat, and whatnot. So we need to split this up into thirds. So if we take how many foundations we have here, 13, 14, and 14 divided by 3 is 4.6. Okay, so we'll have to take a little bit of a liberty with that. So if it's 4.6, we could do 4.5, and that'll probably do it. So if we did like 1, 2, 3, 4.5, and then let's say we throw down a wall, because we can definitely. I mean, we probably could do the 0.6 with the nudge, but I'm not gonna go that precise with it. That sounds ridiculous. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4.5 here. What does that give us? 1, 2, 3, 4. It gives us 5. Yeah, that's a pretty good. And we probably want to leave the factory, the part of the factory that has a little bit more, as the portion that has the factories in it, because we're going to be using blenders, and this is the other kind of thing that we're going to be running into. I might even do 4 and then have 6 in the center, just because of how big the blenders are. Production blender. You can see how big the blenders actually are. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you've convinced me, because I want to have 4 blenders, but I want to kind of put them in a way that makes somewhat of sense. The one thing I really do wish that would be amazing is if you could take any machine, and I know you can probably do this with mods, or there's probably mods out there to add the machines, but if you could take any machine and hit R to swap it, and what it does is it swaps the whole machine, basically swaps the whole machine as it. It's kind of hard to explain, but it basically mirrors it, I should say. So it goes from this, right? It goes from this to this when you hit R, but the inputs on the inputs and outputs stay on the same side. They just get swapped. So basically, you go from this to this. You know, when you're holding this, it goes from this to this, but your inputs go from here to over here. And then your outputs on the same side of the machine also get swapped. So the 2 pipes would be over here, and the 2 belts would be over here. This way you could build mirror factories that would look really, really cool. Yeah, look, and this is the way I want to place these, by the way, as well. We are going to be placing this. So I'm probably going to be doing this with our particular wall as well. It's going to be a little bit wide, but you're going to understand once you see the design. So basically, we're taking the top of this design, right? The top half of this, where the actual portion is, not the cooling portion, but the upper portion. We're taking this and we're chopping it off, and then we're going to be completely redesigning it in a way that works for this factory. And trust me, it's gonna look well. I'm not gonna say exactly that it's gonna look good. All I'm gonna say is it's gonna look interesting, we'll say. We're actually gonna take up a bit more. Let's go 3 foundations all the way around. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, this will be the basis for our factory here. Yeah, because if we take 4 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, we'd have this much room. And I kind of want a bit more room than that. So, yeah, let's take up this much of it. So we'll leave 3 foundations worth of space all the way around. Oh, let me remove these, because we need to go back 1 with this wall. So yeah, this will be this portion of it will be the inner wall for the actual factory. And I did this on the train stations as well, because we were working with unpainted. Unpainted has this very weird way when it comes to Lumen, because Lumen doesn't really know how to react with reflections all that well. It works okay here, but when you get a bunch of lighting going on, like inside of here, if you have if you have unpainted or chrome, or even carbon steel does it a little bit as well, you'll get this sparkly effect. And it goes really crazy, and it's really hard to look at. It's not exactly. If we get real close, can we see it? Yeah, you can kind of, like, if we get really close, you can almost kind of see it. I don't know if YouTube compression is going to allow you to see it very well, but you get this sparkly effect, which is what lumen kind of is. Lumen is a bunch of little colored dots, essentially. Whatever it comes from, and it emanates from the lighting source. And then the dots get less and less as they get further away. If you look at lumen really closely, that's what it looks like. I'm not saying that's what it is, because I'm no expert or anything like that. I'm just saying that's what it looks like. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this will be a blueprint right here. If we kind of put them in the corners, I might move them in a bit so that there's a little bit more space. But if we put the blender right in the middle of that blueprint, well, like I said, we'll move it over 1, so we got a little bit more space on the outer edges. Then we can like put some walkways on it and stuff like that. And we might even, that does lend. Hold on. We could put so many blueprints in here. That does lend itself to be expandable, at least slightly. Now, obviously, this is going to be the logistics floor. We've already decided that. But yeah, let me get a blueprint down as well, and let me mess with that for a little bit. Alrighty, so I think we're gonna go with this. This looks pretty damn good. I've actually decided to change up my my blueprint, or my oh, whoops! I did forget to color something. Thought I got it all. Okay, cool. I changed up my color as well. There we go. And I decided to change up my clock speed. So rather than doing this, we're going to be doing. Let's change this down here. We're going to double the amount of machines because of how much space I have. And then we're going to change this to 6.25. This way we can overclock it in the future, as well as we'll have a whole bunch of space. Which, you know, looks pretty good. And we've got a set in here as well. So we've got the... it's still using the exact same amount, we just changed the clock speed down to 6.25 from 12.5. So we just halved it, but then we're doubling the amount of machines by changing it from 4 to 8. And there's a very specific reason I'm doing this, but we'll have to find out next time, because we unfortunately are out of time for this episode, so we'll have to get it functional next time. But we did do a lot of design work this episode and spent a lot of time getting this done. I actually want to add a bit more to this because I wanted to kind of highlight the machine a little bit. So let's add a bit more lighting. Just on this portion. There we go. So we get a bit more lighting, a bit more flare around that particular piece as well. Look how expensive this is. Good lord. And the only reason we need high-speed connectors is because I put a Mark III tower right here. And the reason I put a tower right here is because of this. I can't get it any closer. I've tried. There's no way for me to get that any closer. But yeah, since the power connector was down here, I decided to put a power pole on top of that. But yeah, like I said, there's no freaking way to get it any closer. I could either have it on this side or this side. As you can see, I'm holding control, and it's just not doing it. We could do it like that, though. Actually, that hides well, it doesn't really hide the cable better, but at the same time, It's a little more out of the way. Maybe we could hide this with like a... If we were to do that... But you know what? Some beam connectors could probably work. Because beam connectors are slightly bigger, right? Oops. Let's do this. Do that. But then we take a architecture and we take a beam connector. Like that. That does kind of hide it a little bit more. And it puts the power pole in a position that looks good. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and save this. Quick save it before the autosave. Oh yeah, so I also did some undertone lighting as well, or some underbit lighting. So that way it kind of lights up the work area, which looks rather nice. Now we're gonna have to do some painting and stuff, but yeah, so I've got my logistics layer. I decided to make my logistics layer a little bit taller for this particular build, and I got rid of the walls because the walls are going to go into the blueprint as well. So that's going to look pretty good. But unfortunately, like I said, that is going to be it for this episode of Satisfactory. So next time we'll go ahead and finish up. Now this is done. All we got to do is put the machines down, get the belts done, and then we'll do some more of the outside work. I don't know if we'll get it all done next time. Probably not, if I had to guess. It's probably not going to get done. I don't know why I keep saving that. Just want to make sure it's extra saved. But it'll definitely be really close to being completed next time. I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I don't know how far we'll get. But yeah, so, and I also built this in a 4x4 area because the way this is 16 across, 16 foundations across by 8. So that's why I did the 4x4. And the blueprint does overhang a little bit, but that's so we can overlap the blueprint and fit it all together. So I did build this in mind with blueprint being right next to it. So that's why this side doesn't have any beams. But it has lights, but it doesn't have any beams going up the side of it because it's going to be covered by this. So everything's going to be working pretty good. But yeah, and I also put some plugs on the two ports that we're not going to be using, just to make it look like it's plugged up. So anyway, like I said, that is going to be it. So I do hope you enjoyed. Oh, and before you go, I would like to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of the investors you can see here. Seriously, thank you. You guys are awesome. It is much appreciated. And until next time, I guess it's a goodbye.